it this way. Being brunette is the female gaze. Being blonde is the male gaze.
It's so crazy because black people only think we're the only ones that have men that obsess over light-skinned women. This is in every community. Let me tell you this. I never knew the power that a blonde hair, blue-eyed, skinny, crooked tooth, trashy eyebrows woman, skinny, have when it comes to the white community. They have a chokehold on men. Y'all think the light-skinned girl with the little big booty have chokehold? Don't really have a chokehold really on black men. But I'm talking about white men. Yes, wealthy men. Y'all want to see a chokehold? Be be in the presence of a girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. If you want to know what pretty privilege is, be that, okay? So tell me how I work at a Caucasian bar, and there was this one girl. She had blonde hair, blue eyes. This one dressed up. She was tall, trashy eyebrows. The eyebrows is always trashy. Teeth a little crooked. Mine on nothing. Mine on is vodka and tequila like the same thing? That type of, yes. She walks in with her boyfriend, whoever he is to her, her fiance, something. 2 seconds, she didn't even sit down. 3 guys trying to buy her a drink. She walked in with her man. You got other men trying to talk to her while she's with her man. 3. This is the 2 seconds she just walked into the bar, okay? You're not seeing that in no other community. I've never, ever seen that in my 25 years of living. Like, the men had to get up from their wives to try to talk to her. Even a 2-second conversation. Her legs, y'all wanna know what pretty privilege is? Her man is just there, and they're not even acknowledging him. Like, he doesn't even exist. And she's having a conversation with them like this is not her first rodeo. That is scary. Y'all want to test something out? Y'all better test out the white man and his chokehold over the blonde hair, blue-eyed girl. Y'all need to test that out because that is something scary. The whole time I'm talking to the couple, and she's just like, the guy just asked me, this is what she tells me. She said, the guy just invited me on his boat in front of her man. And he was like, yeah, I know. The other guy said he wanted to take you to Aspen or something. And I was like, what? That is not happening in the black community. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm telling you, we're just the most exploited race, but the light skin is in every race. I really want a white girl to stitch this because I'm not lying. I'm not lying at all. I'm not lying at all.
I went through the comment section as well, and I found this to be very interesting. Somebody said Asians are also obsessed with them too. Global pretty privilege. And this person also said, I have been blonde hair, blue eyes my entire life, and I confirm this to be 100% correct. Growing up, I was always annoyed that in books the most beautiful characters were described as having blonde hair and blue eyes. I mean, take the character of Jesus. This does not just happen to women, it happens to males as well who are blonde and have blue eyes. And the other one said, true, brunettes and redheads are beefing with the blondes. Okay, I feel brown hair and hazel eyes are really pretty, and it's not that common. When he starts following a blonde with blue eyes, I just don't even want to try anymore. Yes, pack it up. The difference when hair is straight and curly too, am I wrong? I remember being a little kid and doing pageants, blondes won most of the time. I remember thinking I gotta get some of that blonde on my head. That's because white men are obsessed with this idea of everyone being blonde, blue eyes and white skin. Like, look at Marilyn Monroe. Is it her name? Yeah, look at her. And look how she was a symbol of beauty for white men and other races of men, but more specifically white men. They were just gazing at her like they wanted her. And then somebody said, I'm a natural blonde with blue eyes and have never even been hit on. Lol. Okay, maybe you're one of the few exceptions. Yes, ma'am. Listen, I'm part Lebanese and Irish. I have naturally black hair and olive skin in the summer. Most white men don't even see me. I've had a couple of friends in my old school wear blonde hair and blue eyes. Let me tell you, shaking my SMT, I felt like a shark next to them. I'm blonde hair, blue eyes, but lots of guys like brunettes and Spanish looking and may out to be cheap. If my hair wasn't so naturally light, I'd go dark. I think blonde curls is another cherry on top for people. My cousin's thin, perfectly proportionate blue eyes and curly blonde hair. No, the blonde thing is so true. I was blonde once, like 3 years ago, and people still ask me then, when am I going blonde again? And the answer is never. As a white girl with dark brown eyes, dark brown hair and eyes, this is so true. Since I was a little girl, I was able to identify in the quad that blonde. I wanted to hear from a blonde girl's perspective if they stitched this, and I was gonna be like, okay, let's hear what they say basically.
Everyone keeps asking me if I get treated differently with red hair than with blonde hair, and the answer is yes. 100% I do. I went for my first walk in months today, and granted it was just to go get my rental car, like it was right down the street for me, so I just walked to go get it, but I was literally only barked at once. And I'm not talking about a dog, I'm talking about a man. When I'm a blonde, I can't walk anywhere without getting catcalled at least 3 times. Like, I don't know what it is, especially living in Southern California. You would think it would not separate you from others, but men love blondes out here. I noticed that people are less nice to me and less willing to help me. I think that when I was blonde, I don't know what it was, but people just perceived me as nicer. So people were trying to be nicer to me and trying to be more helpful. Whereas now I look like a bitch, kind of. It's crazy the difference that hair color could make. I even had a guy that I kind of went on a FaceTime date with last night, and he was like, so for our first date, like real date, I'm going to take you to the hair salon to dye your hair back. Audacity. Audacious. I'm never speaking to you again. But everyone keeps asking me if I'm going to dye my hair back, which is funny that people ask that because that is my natural hair color. That blonde that it used to be, let me show you a picture. That is me if I spend a lot of time in the sun. My hair gets that blonde, and everyone's like, are you gonna dye it back? Because look at it right now. I'm in an ashy blonde phase, not only because, okay, well, here's what really happened. I tinted it red, and normally it comes out quicker. I don't know if they changed the formula of the tint, but it took a long time to come out, and then it started fading to like a really yellowy, bronzy blonde, and I was like, I like it a little yellow, like a bleach and tone yellow, but I don't like it like it was real blonde. Last night I had the bright idea to let fucking purple shampoo sit in my hair. And you know how that went. I toned it a little too much. Now it's looking like almost a light brown, a really dark blonde, but you can see it's blonde. It's getting back there. To be honest, I don't really know the true color of my hair. You know, like some people's eye color changes a little bit depending on what they wear. I feel like that's me and my hair, but depending on the season. Really, I just use Sun Bum Lightning Spray, and I just spend a lot of time outside, and I'm already pretty dirty blonde, so it just gets real light real fast. But I'm not gonna lie, I've been hermiting, and it's been kind of rainy, kind of cloudy here, so I haven't really had much of an excuse to go out, but it's definitely motivating that my hair fucking looks like this right now. I got red lowlights. Like, what's going on?
Okay, let's talk about the difference in treatment between when you are a blonde versus a brunette. In case you don't know, I'm a natural brunette. This is fake, but I'm a bottle blonde, and I've been so for about a year. The difference in treatment is astronomical. I almost think of it this way. Being brunette is the female gaze. Being blonde is the male gaze. Didn't really realize that until I actually dyed my hair blonde, because the difference in treatment when it comes to men, for one, you were taken way less seriously as a blonde. I always heard the expression that's like, guys want to a blonde, but marry a brunette. I feel like guys kind of always treated me like shit anyway, but definitely worse as a blonde. People also expect you to be dumb and vapid and mean as a blonde, when I've met people, they always tell me like, oh, I thought you were gonna be mean. So I feel like if you're a brunette, people see you as more warm and welcoming. And the attention that I get online is vastly different. I've gotten horrible hate comments, people who just feel personally victimized by me having blonde hair. I've gotten comments like, you're not fooling anyone. I can see your roots. Like, as if I ever try to convince anyone that I was a natural blonde. No. Or comments like, are you blonde because you hate yourself? It's not that deep. It's never that deep. I just like the way I look more as a blonde. And I know people are like, well, if you're complaining, then you should go back to brunette. I'm not gonna dye my hair or like change anything about my appearance just because like people might treat me better. So yeah, to clear up any confusion, never said I was a natural blonde. Not dumb. I'm not mean. And no, I also don't hate myself. So
pretty privilege is so fucking real and it's so bullshit. Okay, so I was born brunette, and then a few years ago I went all blonde, and then I started experiencing it, and now I went back to brunette, and it's gone, okay? I don't think I'm ugly. I mean, look, I'm makeupless today. Okay, I'm kind of crusty. I had the glasses on today. I'm not really anything to look at today, okay? But I don't think I'm butt-fuck ugly. So I was going into Plato's. I had a big box of stuff. There was a blonde girl in front of me with also a big box of stuff. This dude held the door for her that was walking out of Plato's, looked me dead in the fucking eyes, let go of the door and walked away. And I struggled with my big box in my hand trying to open the door at the same time. Several people watched me struggle and nobody fucking helped me. What world we live in. And look, when I've got my makeup done, I ain't bad, okay? I don't have the hair done, I don't have the makeup done today. That is reality. And I was a bomb-ass blonde, but I broke as shit and I couldn't keep up with it. But that doesn't mean that when I have something heavy as fuck in my hands and I clearly can't open the door, that you can't just sit there for another 2 seconds to let me through. Because I'm not fucking blonde.
So she made a video saying that you think that light-skinned women have a hold over black men, baby, you ain't seen nothing until you've seen the hold that blonde hair, blue eyes have over white men. She did not lie one damn bit. I used to work in this office and we had this one girl and she was a blonde bombshell, baby. She didn't have like a curvy body. She kind of had like very little hips, but she had a little bump in the back, but she had these fake boobs. White men don't play about these fake boobs. She had long platinum blonde hair with weave to extensions. Her tracks were always showing. They did not care one bit. She had these huge, big, blue, beautiful eyes, and she would wear her eyelashes like before eyelashes became a thing. So she looked very kind of like deer-like. So she was gorgeous. There would be men sitting in the lobby with their wives, and she would hit the corner, and these men, I would say in my head, sir, close your mouth. You're drooling. You're about to get in a lot of trouble. Please close your mouth. They couldn't even help it. There were men who would call to make appointments and would confirm that she was going to be there that day just to look at her. I am not lying. When we would go out, she would get real drunk and real rowdy. They ate it up. When she would become like a diva, they ate it up even more. No matter what she did, baby, they were there for it. Now, she was married. She didn't come across as the type that would like cheat on her husband. She never gave that vibe, but she knew the power that she had, and her husband knew, baby, there is no room for error. You better keep it tight. The sad part is, though, she started messing with her face. She started getting a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff, and I think the thing that made her so adorable is that she looked like, you know, the college rowdy girl next door. Then she started to look a little bit older because after a while, all this cosmetic stuff makes you look older than you actually are. And although she was still attractive and still pulling them, it wasn't that same thing. It wasn't that same draw that she had. It was like clockwork. You could see a white man in that lobby and you could see her walking down the hall. As soon as she hit that desk where they could see her, no joke. No joke. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and fake boobs? Stop. Stop.
I mean, I went to Google like beautiful women. I just wanted to see the type of women appear. And it was so shocking that it was types of women. It was not just light-skinned women or white women. but they were kind of brunettes, there were redheads as well, there were afros and Lupita Nyong'o. I mean, all types of women, they were there. And then I went to Google specifically blonde women with blue eyes. I just wanted to see what men see or what men think and see. But it really also reminded me of the hype around blonde women, you know. I mean, go back in ages how they would obsess around Marilyn Monroe. I mean, because the way that she looked, you know, and come to see this woman and also see her as well. It was very fascinating to me to learn about the effects of blonde women. I mean, there are those who are beautiful for me. I mean, like, I could say that she's fine, you know, but doesn't mean that she's beautiful for me. There are women I've seen who are beautiful because they have features that makes them ideally beautiful. I feel like she's beautiful in her own way, just like I would look at certain black people and be like, well, she's beautiful, she's really beautiful. And she doesn't even have to be light skinned, like she may be very dark but very beautiful, you know. And that's one of those things, like understanding male psychology, especially in white males, is something that I'll never really understand, but it was really fascinating to understand and learn. For me, living in South Africa is not really much of a thing for white South African men, but it's really interesting learning from the perspective of white American men and also European men in general. But I'm not saying that white South African men don't have that same standards when it comes to women. I believe that they do, but I don't think that they prioritize it to that extent, you know. It's like in Italy, I read about the same thing in Italy. Like, yeah, it's a standard for, you know, the male attraction in the Western world, in Europe, for white men. But it's not like they're all gonna marry a blonde woman, you know. It's not that case. Also, I remember watching a black woman who married an Italian man who said his ideal woman was blonde and blue-eyed and white woman, but he married a black woman. So it was really interesting to see, but I don't think they're together anymore. But I think he was also with fantasy as well. That's something I'll never really get. I'm really skeptical with European men in general.